Harold Park Paceway down there in the hollow at Glebe has been a famous landmark of Sydney for most of this century. It's been the scene of many great struggles, not only with the horses, but certainly between punters and bookmakers. Once tagged the place of pace, Harold Park was the premier trotting track in Australia. It now has become, though, really the place of no pace. A very, very slow track indeed. Quite simply, it's outlived its usefulness, and now moves have been made to reintroduce harness racing to the western suburbs as part of Sydney's push for the 1996 Olympics. Gary Wilkinson, who's probably gambled enough money at Harold Park to build the new track, takes a look at the history of the old Glebe Hollow.
The greatest moment in the long and colourful history of Harold Park, the final of the 1960 Inter-Dominion Championship. A world record crowd of 50,000 fans crammed every vantage point, including the Greyhound Circuit and the infield car park. They even tore down sections of the grandstand to get a better view of the showdown between the local champion, Apmat, and the mighty New Zealander, Caduceus. Far cry from the first harness race meeting held at the inner-city Glebe site in 1890. Then it was called the Lily Bridge Racecourse and was owned by the Rugby Football Union. The impossibly tight track of little more than 400 metres encircled the football field. A horse called Evo Bly won the first race for a prize of 10 sovereigns. The 1890s depression, however, closed the circuit through the turn of the century. But in 1902, the present New South Wales Trotting Club was formed. The track reopened under the name of Forest Lodge and later became known as the Epping Course. In 1911, the club purchased the track from the Rugby Union for £10,400. And in 1929, to avoid confusion with the suburb of Epping, the complex finally became Harold Park, after Child Harold, one of the great imported sires of those early days. Many records and milestones in harness racing history have been written at Harold Park. The sport boomed with the advent of night racing in 1949, and the present circuit, although still less than 800 metres in circumference, gained worldwide recognition for its spectacular promotions like the Miracle Mile. The great rivalry between champions like Hondo Grattan and Paleface Adios regularly packed the stands at the Glebe circuit and had the fans clamouring for more. And perhaps one of the greatest finishes ever at Harold Park was in 1970, when the Queensland champ, Lucky Creed, aiming for a record 25th straight win, was run down on the line by the bush horse Cocky Raider. But the great days of Harold Park were over. In recent years, it's been overshadowed by the bigger, more modern circuits like Melbourne's Moonee Valley and Albion Park in Brisbane. The proposal to move to Homebush Bay is not a new one. It was first mooted 10 or 12 years ago. But now, with the impetus of Sydney's Olympic Games bid, the move is financially and politically expedient.
This complex, which will be one of the most modern in the Southern Hemisphere, will be a 1,000-metre track, so that 10 horses will be off the front. There'll be permanent stabling out there for 250 horses, seating for 10,000 spectators, and there's also proposed, and we're looking at this at the moment, that a licensed club would be established.
Importantly, the new facility will also include a world-class equestrian centre, and the planners of Sydney's 1996 Olympic bid say this will now place 13 different sports within walking distance of the proposed Olympic village at Homebush, and that this will virtually guarantee the success of Sydney's bid.
This will get us across the line, there's no doubt about it. We've had a close study of the Brisbane bid, the Melbourne bid. On any objective analysis, ours is the best bid. Having been to Seoul, and I met you in Seoul, it's clear that if you can offer a great number of events on the one site, close to the village, close to the media, close to the press centre, this is what will win the bid. And this is something that Brisbane and Melbourne can't match. The decision will be made on November the 17th. This will definitely get us across the line. We will win the bid.
Whatever the Olympic outcome, harness racing will certainly be the winner. Harold Park has provided many great moments for top trainers and drivers like Brian Hancock. He drove Koala King to victory in an Inter-Dominion final with much the same enthusiasm with which he greeted the decision to move to Homebush Bay.
It's a dream come true, and I think every harness person in New South Wales and Australia, and we can make a world facility at Homebush Bay, and that's what's going to happen. We're going to have a world-class facility, the best in the world, I think, if we go about it right, which we will.
What's the matter with good old Harold Park?
Well, it's, Harold Park's been great to me, and which many of, leading drivers will say, but it's outlived its time. It's, we've just gone advanced that quick with our horses in the last 25 years with speed and all that. It's just outlived its time. It's just the tracks just can't handle our horses.
The 30-hectare Harold Park site will be sold for urban development and is expected to fetch upwards of $80 million. The Rugby Union must be kicking themselves now. The new Homebush complex will take 3 years and as much as $150 million to develop, and then maybe the glory days of harness racing will return. Days like that 1960 showdown between Apmat and Caduceus. The race caller, the late, great Ken Howard.
And Caduceus soon after moved up to challenge Fettle for the lead. Fettle just in front as they start to run down the corner from Caduceus on the outside. Then Maestro's Melody followed by Apmat. It's Fettle just in front as they come near to the turn from Caduceus, inch by inch wearing him down. Then Maestro's Melody and Apmat. Fettle first around the corner. Caduceus coming at him, and it's Fettle and Caduceus staging a soul-stirring struggle as they get near the wire. Caduceus in front. Maestro's Melody and Apmat flying too late. Caduceus won it from Apmat.
What a great finish. And by the way, if Gary Wilkinson owes you any money, collect now, because Homebush is much closer to his home than Harold Park, and you could be doing it tough for the cash. Back in a minute.